I mean, this is the thing is that there, from time to time, we get libertarians who call into this program who are under this sort of notion that somehow the problem with the federal government is that it's just too big, that the amount of in their portfolio is too large, and they always talk about local control. And it's been my experience, having lived in various different sized cities, from 10,000 people to 160,000 to now obviously a massive city. But on the local level, the most local level, you're in a Republican area, your local representatives or electeds perceive government as simply a tool in which they use to do business. And so it is, I'm going to get my friends a low-cost community development loan, and I'm going to, use this to parlay into my ability to get, it's this sort of like low-level corruption. And on some level, we have seen, I think there's always been this, but like you say, there was always sort of like, oh, I'm going to pay a politician to do my bidding. But we've now sort of seen somehow these politicians going in and very much having that same attitude on a federal level. Like, I can actually wrangle this thing to help my business. And that is that is an amazing, that virus that happens on a local level, that level of corruption seems to have been able to metastasize into the federal government.
And I'd say it's a change even from a few years back. One thing I reference in that piece is that, we've heard about kickbacks before, right? During the healthcare debate, very famously, there was this thing called the Cornhusker kickback,
right,
where Nevada Senator Ben Nelson was allegedly, sort of paid off for his vote. By the way, that ended up coming out of the bill because Democrats have a sense of shame that Republicans don't. But the Cornhusker kickback was about increasing funds for Medicaid for the state of Nebraska.
Yes.
It wasn't for Ben Nelson.
Right.
It was for his constituents.
Right. It was like, I brought home pork I wouldn't even call it pork. It's like I brought home actually really healthy vegetables.
For the poorest people in the state of Nebraska. Not for just Bob Corker, one of the richest people in the state of Tennessee.
Yeah, that change is amazing. And on some level, I think you could probably poll people and more people, and kudos to Sirota, like you said, for coining that Corker kickback. But on some level, it's almost like a bribe. It's
in fact what the Supreme Court said is the only actionable kind of bribery that they would look at.
Right.
They would have to see quid pro quo relationships where money and votes were trading hands very directly. So this is like sort of the only kind of bribery that you're even allowed to prosecute at this point. Not that I think it's going to be prosecuted, but it's almost directly what the Supreme Court said was the most egregious kind of offense.
Right. This is more of a Corker quid quo than a kickback. But hi, folks. Sam Seder here. We still need your help on our Patreon page. YouTube ads have come back, but not nearly as much as we had before. So if you can help us out, any little bit helps. Head over to our Patreon page right at this URL, and you'll help us keep helping you by making videos